Hello, I welcome you
Hello.
to PMO Strategist podcast. This podcast is essentially run for the interest and for the purpose of providing knowledge to the professionals for their learning and advancement in career. And this session is going to take you through the areas of let me share with you the agenda what I have for the day, and uh, that is introduction to PMO strategies, the purpose of Strategic Corner podcast, insightful views and experience of the speaker, and guidance for advancements. What services are provided by PMO strategies? This is the area I'm going to take you through. So let me start with PMO strategies. PMO strategies is a consulting and management company that provides the solutions and help for the businesses to move in a strategic direction. And the PMO strategists are the practitioners of strategic project management. And project management is our strength. So that is the area. So this podcast essentially is run for the professionals to learn and enhance their competence and understanding for moving business, for what organizations they are working with, and their personal growth. So that area is there. And let me move on to the next area, that is moving to the podcast. Podcast essentially is, as I said earlier, is to help business professionals learn the approach adapted by CEOs and business management. I mean, our speakers are of that level, who have very extensive exposure to business and management, and their learnings are shared here. So you can learn from their learnings and from their experiences. That is the purpose of this podcast. Let me move on further. Here is my introduction. My name is Muhammad Aslam Mirza. Assalamu alaikum. I am PMO Strategist founder and CEO, and I have very extensive exposure to business industry, particularly in construction. I started my career as a construction engineer and managed a construction company in CEO and MD position, and then I moved to business management. And business management, I have captured my experience, learnings, and insights into these 4 books. These 4 books are written under the theme of aura. Aura is AURA. And if you understand, aura is essentially a distinctive atmosphere created by energies surrounding a person or a team who have acquired certain level of experience and competence, which is helpful for them to move in their professional directions and moving the businesses in their required directions. So these 4 areas of knowledge or goes for applying project management principles for organizational transformation. That is volume 1. Volume 2 goes against U, that is that is understanding human factors and workplace environment. Again, R is respecting diversity, building team, meaningfulness, and growing to leadership. Again, O, that is agility in project management and collaboration. So these 4 books are available at Amazon, and if you like, you can create and enhance your competence with the help of these books. So that was the shortest possible introduction I could have. Here we have a very learned person, and the learning person is such a huge learner person that I was amazed by his achievements in the education particularly. He has number of PhDs, my good God. And I may not be successful in introducing Dr. James. And there I would request Dr. James to please share his profile and his experience in the knowledge and in the work experience for the benefit of the prospective participants. Dr. James, please take your chance, take your time, but please be brief. Dr. James.
Thank you. And thank you, Mohammed, for the invitation. I really appreciate uh, being part of this great movement. I think I will make it very brief. So I'm Dr. James Mbakpuo. project management expert, a consultant. I have a PhD in project management, PhD in economics, and a DBA in business management. So I've worked in different areas with NGOs, worked with intergovernmental organizations, worked with multinational organizations, and I have done my own. I'm doing my own business. At the same time, I'm lecturing in different universities in Poland here and outside Poland within Europe. So these are the few things I do for a living. So, Mohammed, I think I will not waste much time to introduce myself. Those who want to get to know me more can go through my LinkedIn page, type in Dr. James Onyinye Mbakpuo. You will get more details about me and my qualifications. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. James. I'm really impressed with your educational endeavor and the courage and the strength you carry for educational achievements. It's great, real great. Thank you very much for sharing all this. Now, let me move to the topic of the day, that is the business complexities. And here I would like to bring to the understanding of the prospective participants that business complexities are happening in the external area which is outside the control of an organization. And that area is essentially global market volatility, technology changes, regulated landscape, increasing competition, climate change, cybersecurity, geopolitical uncertainty, and change and supply chain disruption. So these areas are the ones which are out of the control of an organization or of a business setup. But these happenings which is taking place outside the organizations but have very strong impacts on the internal strength and its internal business movements of an organization, where talent acquisition, DI and B, organizational culture, digital transformation, informed decision making, leadership development, change management, and communication breakdowns come under pressure. Because whatever is happening outside, your organization is required to create the systems and create the strength to face all those challenges. And for that, internally, you have to develop these areas so that you are able to face those changes. And these two areas bring down impacts on the operational factors of the organization. And there, managing remote workforce, streamlining processes, quality control, managing logistics, customer satisfaction, adapting artificial intelligence and blockchain, managing intellectual property, mitigating risk comes under pressure. And that is required to be managed under the pressure of external and internal forces which have brought up to the organizations to build their strength and competence. And finally, the strategic advancement, because strategic advancement is the basic requirement for an organization to manage for moving in future and sustaining their existence in the market. So strategic advancements becomes challengeable for the organizations through innovating business model, identifying new market, building a strategic partnership, managing mergers and acquisition, competitive advantage, fostering innovation and research and development, managing global expansion, sustainable business strategies. These are the areas where organizations feel difficulty in managing under the circumstances of uncertainty and continuous change. So these areas needs building competence for organizations to manage and to move on. So my first question to Dr. James is, how were you able to manage business advancements in the prevalent challenges of business complexities? So this is my first question. Dr. James, please.
Okay. Well, Mohammed, that's a very interesting question. I think we live in a complex business environment today, and we have to all know that focusing on multi-pronged strategy that emphasizes agility, innovation, and data-driven decisions making is key if we really want to make it in today's complex business world. So I think number one thing that all companies, all organizations must key in is strategic agility. That's the first thing. Once you are strategically agile, then you are on the right path. That means being continuously reassessing your market position, adapting to different strategies to respond swiftly to changing conditions. Once you are able to do this, then you will stay sustainable in all situations. We can see that it has played in so many ways, in so many organizations, the big multinational organizations. You can see how they transit from challenges. They turn their challenges into success story, and that is what all companies, organizations, in today, even governments should key into that strategic agility. Once you do that, remain flexible in all your dealings, in all your business, to live in, like I would say, to live in today's world with yesterday's mentality is very catastrophic. And that is the mistake many businesses do. Many organizations have fallen victim. So the way to make doomsday prophecy self-fulfilling is to rely on fate, or to rely passively on fate. Such passive courses in life are not only catastrophic but detrimental. So being strategically agile, number one. Number two, technological integration. What do we mean? When you look at the world we live today, we are living in the fastest time in human history. Time is the way technology has disrupted everything. So again, living in today's world with yesterday's mentality, you cannot meet up with the challenges we face today. What do I mean? You need to integrate technology into everything you do, every business, from local governments, from individual businesses to intergovernmental organization, multinational organization. If you want to stay competitive and sustainable, you must integrate technology into your business, leveraging digital transformation tools like AI, automation, cloud performance. This all helps to streamline operations, enhance customer experiences, and uncover new growth areas or opportunities. So technology integration is number two. Another one is manpower, talent, empowerment. When you watch very well, you see, I've been to so many countries around the globe, and you see people playing with a very vital area to stay competitive and to stay sustainable. When it comes to human resources, many organizations play with this area. They don't need to play with it. Your human resource is your chamber, is your backbone to success for sustainability. But you see organizations play with politics, favoritism, nepotism, discrimination of all types. When they cannot employ the right people, playing favoritism with areas where you need expertise, where you need the right people to fill the right job. So talent empowerment is another thing. I think if organizations are keying into it, employing the right people, they will solve a lot of problems. They will stay sustainable. So invest in upskilling. Once you invest in upskilling your workforce and fostering culture of collaboration and innovation, I think you empower your team. But you see, most companies, they just, because you know somebody, even when the person is not qualified because it's from the same country with you, or the same religion, or the same culture, the same traditions, the same whatever, you just employ the person. Then you have someone that is more qualified to be there. You leave that person, and take a less qualified person, that is already a red flag to failure. And that's how companies, organizations, nations have failed. So I think empowering teams, equip them with to handle complex issues, can drive progress. So spending on human capital, companies should spend on their human capital to stay sustainable. We will look at some companies from Amazon to to HSBC and all this one, how they have harnessed, changed these challenges into sustainable profit, sustainable development in their various areas. So once manpower is in place, bringing in the right people, no discrimination, inclusiveness as key, then you're on the right track. Another area is customer-centric innovation. Most companies, most organizations, they do not really know what their customers want. When you understand what your customer is your lifeline. When you surpass your customer's need, and then you are on the path of sustainable development, sustainable growth. These are the challenges many organizations face, many businesses face. They do not put customer at the center of their progress or their development or their pursuit for growth. So they take it as a side thing. So make sure that you stay close to your customers, understand the evolving needs. Once you innovate with purpose and deliver solutions that truly meet that value, the sky is your limit. Always being customer-centric, very important. So strategic agility, technological integration, talent empowerment, customer-centric, risk management and resilience. That's another thing. The companies that have been able to make it in recent times, post-COVID-19 or before COVID-19, watch them, they manage their risk and resilience. They turn those risk and those risks into success stories. So we need to strengthen our risk assessment. Most companies do not really strengthen when the risk hits them because they are not well prepared to handle risk. Again, living in today's world with yesterday's mentality, it doesn't work. The way to make doomsday prophecies self-fulfilling is to ignore the signs of dangers that lies ahead and then passively depends on faith. All scientific findings have proved that such passive courses in life are not only detrimental, but catastrophic. So risk assessment and resilience is something that all companies all organizations, governmental organizations, private NGOs or NGOs and private businesses, multinational organizations must key in. It's key to foster growth, to stay sustainable. So when companies strengthen their risk assessment and build resilience, have a good supply chain to mitigate disruption, I'm sure trust the regulatory processes that are involved, play by the rules of engagement, they are on the path of success. But most companies do not take this very serious. They play with their risk management and resilience mitigations plans, very poor. And then when challenges come, you see them, they fall out. Either not following the regulatory compliances or not building trust, then it hits them. Then sustainability and ethics. We have been hearing about Sustainable Development Goals, Agenda 2030 and all this. What are companies doing? What are organizations doing? If you look very well, the 17th Sustainable Development Goal is a blueprint that any organization, any business, any country can tap into it. You don't need any other blueprint. You can just go there. The expo is there. Just tap into it. Sustainability and ethics. So having a long-term advancement, aligning with sustainable practices. How many businesses are really operating with sustainable practices today? Even when if you look at Agenda 2030, the world has not even achieved 20% of that brilliant vision. We have more 5 years to go. Is there any hope that they will hit that agenda? The answer is no. It's no. I think we did well more with Millennium Development Goals, but when you look at Sustainable Development Goals 2030, we have fallen short so much. Almost all countries in the world. So organizations, they are not playing by sustainability and ethical practices. So organizations should key in this into their developmental pursuit. So sustainability and ethics is something that all governments must drive in this message to all businesses to key into it, aligning with sustainable practices and ethical governance. It will build trust, ensure regulatory compliances, but you find out that many organizations do not play, and then you see them going with fines. They keep losing money, whereas if they have play by the rules of engagement, practice sustainable practices and ethical governance, they will avoid a lot of damages that they go through, lawsuit upon lawsuit. I don't want to mention that. I mean, a lot of them. So now, when you look at companies that have succeeded, in these challenges, now we look at strategic agility. If you're strategically agile, technologically integrated, talent, empowerment, customer-centric, innovation, risk management and resilience, and then you have a good sustainability and ethics, you are good to go. You are good to go in business, in any operation. And when you want to look at companies that have succeeded in that, there are so many companies we can name that have succeeded. Amazon, leveraging automation and AI. What did they do? They faced a challenge, managing massive global supply chain and customer bases. What did Amazon do? They apply a strategy that works very well. Amazon invests heavily in AI and robotics to optimize their warehouse and operation, predict customers' demands, personalize their shopping experience. What was the result? We know what Amazon achieved post-COVID-19 or during the COVID-19. Increase efficiency, reduce delivery time, and enhance customer satisfaction. Today, everybody's talking of Amazon. That was how they turned that challenge into strategy, and the strategy into result. Today, they are one of the most efficient when it comes to supply chain. We look at Microsoft, cloud-first transformation. Microsoft did the same thing. They had a challenge, transitioning from traditional software to cloud services. A challenge. Challenge is a time, crisis time, learning time. Crisis time, learning time. But most people, crisis time is failure time. No. So Microsoft did what? They come up with a strategy. Under Satya Nadella's leadership, Microsoft adopt cloud-first, mobile-first strategy. What did they do? They focus on Azure and subscription-based services like 360 Office. What was the result? Massive growth in cloud revenue. That's the truth. And revitalizing their brand image. That is what challenge can bring. You look at companies like Unilever. They came up with sustainable business model. That again, a challenge. Balancing profitability with environmental social responsibility. Unilever came up with a strategy. How do we balance profitability with environmental sustainability or responsibility? Unilever implemented sustainable living plan. integrating sustainability into their product development and supply chain. What was the result? Unilever became one of the stronger brand loyalty in the world, cost savings, and long-term resilience. So challenge is a time for growth. It's a time for to think outside the box, to look for solutions into problem. Look at Netflix. What did Netflix do? Netflix did the same thing. Data-driven content strategy. The challenge was there. Competing in a very saturated entertainment industry or market. Netflix say, okay, we have to come up with a strategy. The challenge is there. There's a high challenge. How do we cope? Challenging time, learning time. They came up with a strategy. Netflix used data analytics to guide content creation and use recommendations, ensuring high engagement. The result, Netflix became a global expansion and a dominant position in streaming. Again, all challenges. Look at all these companies. Zara, the fashion company, clothing company. Zara is very popular today, but people don't know what drove them. It was challenge that drove them to where they are today. Zara used agile supply chain. They came in also. They had a challenge, rapid changing fashion trend. Zara said, how do we survive? How can we survive this market? We need to come up with a strategy. Again, they came up with a strategy. Challenging time, learning time. Crisis time, learning time. Zara developed a vertical integrated agile supply chain system.
Okay, that's great. I mean, you have very extensively explained how you
So,
were able to manage your business through tough time.
you know,
Here, just briefly, I would request you to explain what was your approach with regard to organizational culture and engagement, because that is an area which is really important for the businesses to stay together.
exactly. This is an area where I think communication is number one. Communication is very important. Your strategy is useless if you cannot communicate it. If you have all this strategy, all these few companies I mentioned now, if with all these beautiful strategies they came up with to say sustainable, if they did not communicate their strategy, it's as good as nothing. So I think from governments, businesses, organizations should learn how to communicate their vision, their mission, their purpose. What is your purpose? It doesn't make sense. So communication is your anchor. How do you know if you have clearly communicated your strategy? If you look
Okay,
very well,
Dr. Jam, let me move to the next question. Um, and there I would like you to briefly advise what the business managers and particularly the professionals should take care of moving to the next level of performance. What is your suggestions and advice to business managers and professionals to move to next level of performance?
again, to move to the next level of performance, I will anchor that message on the same communication purpose. Whether you're a manager, whether you are an entrepreneur, whatever you find yourself in the business world, communication is the soul, they say, the soul of business. How can you achieve anything if you don't have a crystal clear communication to the people you are working with, to your team, or to your organization, or to the nation? You must catch the vision of what you want to become. So the question is, what's the future where we are heading towards? What's the future? Where are we heading to? You must answer this question as whether a leader or what's my personal role in making that vision come true or that purpose come true? What are you playing? What's our strategy to get there? What is the strategy you want to get there? So you must be consistent with this message. It doesn't end there. Building trust through transparency. You must be transparent. So you find out that most leaders, when they lack transparency, even though they have a purpose, they have a mission to fulfill, they don't communicate it very well. There is no transparency, lack of transparency. You cannot succeed when there is no transparency. So stage one, we are living in the age of AI. AI should be used to make us work more effective and more efficient. But is that the case? Sometimes you see that most managers and leaders do not use this tool very well. The first stage is where we are now. Where are we now? Augmentation and enhancement. Number one stage. We need to use augmentation and enhancement to get the job easy. So they should drive the message of communication. When you said augmentation and enhancement of your job, are you communicating the message down from the beginning, from the lowest to the top, or you filter it within few people you want them to get the message? Is there a consistent message between the internal side and the external side? You have to make sure that you put this, there's a seamless flow of information. Communication is key. Stage two, bring the rule transformation.
Okay, I suppose that's a very valid advice for the professionals and the business managers to move to the next level. With this, I think you have taken a good account of the businesses and of the professionals and to help them how to move on. Let me share what PMO strategies services can bring to the business industries. Here, these are listed down in 4 areas, starting from diagnostic assessment of gaps in strategy and execution, strategic alignment and discipline strategy execution. In fact, this area essentially helps organizations to move in their desired strategic directions and to find out what gaps are there in moving to that area and to help them to move with discipline strategy execution, which is the most important area to help the businesses to move with strength and force. So this is the foremost important area where PMO strategies helps our businesses and organizations to move on. It also helps business and organizations to deal with their PMO functions if they have their PMO in-house. If not, then that PMO services can be provided to them. And if they have the PMO house in-house, then their functions can be optimized and can be helped and assessed and made up if there are shortages. The third area is change management and cultural transformation. Essentially, the success and advancement of an organization is dependent on change management. In the present time, where the change is so frequent and so fast that organizations are required to develop their change management muscles, because the change is so frequent and so strong that without creating those muscles, organizations cannot move on in the relevant point in time and with the speed it is required. So their PMO strategies can help an organizations to make that assessment, to help them in prioritizing those change and to make change management execution. So that also helps to create cultural transformation, because culture is an area where organizations can make the win or lose if they have supportive culture, because it all depends on the culture. If it is supportive, then definitely it will help the organizations to move in their desired direction. If not, then it will pull back. and that pulling back is very strong, and sometimes it's not even traceable. It's where and what went wrong at what point in time. So that transformation is important for the culture to bring it in support of the organization to move on. Leadership development is the fourth area, mentoring and coaching. Essentially, the leadership is the basic ingredient which is helpful for developing culture, for making the change management, and for helping the organizations to move in strategic directions. So that leadership development is the basic requirements, and there PMO strategies can develop that systems and areas to help with leadership development in-house. Further on, the PMO strategies also provide training services in the areas like building resilience and adaptability in teams and leaders, enhancing communication and collaboration. As it is, Dr. Jem also very correctly mentioned that the communication is the backbone of a business flow. If it is not created, it's not done effectively, then you will not be able to move the organization the way you want it. And that communication needs systems, need training, need understanding, and top of all, efficacy of the communication. So that needs to be managed and needs to be developed. The third area is driving innovation and creativity. The present time is said that it's a economy of innovation and creativity. So PMO strategies can help developing that innovation, creativity among the organizations through the systems and through the development of the teams, and making the teams understandable how to go along with that. So the fourth area is developing strategic thinking and problem solving skills. The strategic thinking is the basic ingredient of the leadership and all along the team. Here, I would say that each team member is in her own right is a leader, and because every leader is supposed to manage her and his and her capital leadership, psychological capital, and that is hero. Hero is hope, empathy, resilience, and optimism. So this is to be managed by each team members for the efficacy and to keep on moving with the team and putting in the best in the team with the force and with the abilities. So these areas, training and the PMO strategies can very effectively provide this training and help organization to move on. Further on, if you need to reach out to PMO strategists, here is the area through which you can reach out and you can enjoy the efficacy of the. With this, thank you very much for your understanding and your knowledge and your interest for learning with Dr. Jain, and this attending the podcast. And the purpose of the podcast essentially is to continue with the learning. That's what is being endeavored here. With this, thank you.